Special guest this morning, Coach Paul Sacco from St. Joe Football. We appreciate him taking a few minutes, so we want to get him right on the radio here. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, thanks for taking a few minutes. I know you're busy this morning. You working on some film for next year?
No, I got to go back. We had collected helmet and shoulder pads when we got off the bus last night, and it was a little bit hectic when we got there after we had a parade through town and all that kind of
Awesome.
stuff. And, and then we kind of hung out, went and got something to eat, so we didn't get home till late. And we did kind of a shoddy job grabbing helmets and shoulder pads, so I'm wondering how many are missing this morning. So I was just headed over to the field house to kind of do some end-of-the-year cleaning and kind of take a break from football, at least for a few days.
Get Coach Luco to do all that inventory for you.
Well, he was supposed to be helping me, and I don't know what happened. He was out watching the fireworks, I think.
Yeah. Coach, man, awesome game last night. I know it was probably pretty stressful as a head coach. Holy Spirit, man, they brought their best, and I'm sure you expected nothing less from a Coach Russo team. And take us through that game a little bit. And it was 20-6 at halftime. They come storming back in the third quarter. What was going through your mind as a coach? Like, how do I navigate this third quarter to get in a position to win?
Well, this whole year seems like it was just to get the ship uprighted, and a lot of things happened during the season. And but you know what? We came out there, and our whole thing was not to get off to a slow start like we normally do down in Absecon. And Ahmad Ross, sophomore linebacker, fullback, picks off a pass, runs it in for a touchdown. So now we're up, 8-0. We went for 2 and got it. We're up 8-0, and I'm like, you know what? If our kicking game is a lot better tonight, we're going to be fine. It hasn't been all year long, but on the opening kickoff, he kicked the ball in the end zone, which we haven't seen that much, and forced them to drive 80 yards, and we get a pick. And but we get a penalty on the touchdown, unsportsmanlike, a late hit, and now we're kicking from the 25-yard line. So now they're starting at midfield, and they came right back. And but then we ended up with 2 more touchdowns and 26 at halftime. And you're not going to feel comfortable with a team that throws the ball like they do. So and then we came out the second half basically, and our whole thing was we're getting the football, let's try to churn out some yardage here and eat up the third quarter. And, we made a couple changes and, we fumbled the football. And next thing you know, we're in a world of, in a bad situation, basically. And they scored. Now it's 20-14, they get the 2, and then we came back and scored, and then kind of went back and forth, then 26-22, and Ahmad Ross, I got to hand it to him. He's been hurt with an ankle problem, but he came up big for him. Him and Jade are best friends, and one's a junior, one's a sophomore, and Ahmad really breaking that long run really kind of put us back in control, and they lost their quarterback, in the fourth quarter. I think they said it was a collarbone injury.
Right.
So, we knew they'd be limited then. But I got to give credit to our kids. I mean, our kids were in a predicament where this thing was starting to go the other way, and they just held on, kept coming back, and like they said, that's the resiliency of our program. They get down and they're able to come back, and I think we showed that because of what happened this year. And credit to the kids and my assistant coaches, and our fans.
Talk with Coach Paul Sacco from St. Joe Wildcats, and Coach, in the beginning of the season on paper, this looked like the best team in South Jersey. Everybody was thinking, oh, they're going to go 12-0, they're going to roll through their schedule. It almost looked like these guys needed a little bit of adversity to kind of test themselves, and you got that in midseason, and to be able to respond to that, all that stuff that was going on in the middle of the season, and to really play well down the stretch, kind of shows what this team has been all about the last couple of years. Great group of seniors this year that have kind of faced every challenge that's come their way and won a couple of titles. Talk about those guys a little bit and how important they were to your program. All the guys, I mean, Quarshi, Sean, Bobby, Lomax, all those guys that have really been multiple year starters that have kind of showed what this program's all about.
Yep, I think what happened, after I think it was a big surprise last year that we were 12-0, but that group of kids basically was a young group of kids, a lot of juniors and a couple sophomores. Jada was a sophomore, and I think coming into the season after, we were all surprised that we were 12-0. Not that it's not we're not capable of doing that, but. And the bar was raised, and I think with most of the team coming back, everybody felt that way. And we don't talk about things like that. We don't put extra pressure on the kids. But I think what happened, to be honest with you, we go to Connecticut, we get a big win there. It's 33-0 at halftime, and it's a real hot day at the University of New Haven, and. Then we come up with a couple more big wins. A big win on a messy day against a good Millville team, and then you go to St. Augustine, and that was a game that kind of got out of hand there, and was a blowout, and I think after that, I think people, some of our kids just said, you know what, we must be that good.
Right.
I was worried about that all year long with this group, and all of a sudden we stumbled, with Haddonfield, and then struggled with Vineland, for a half, and then we had the problem, and things happen for a reason. I think that you're totally right when you said this group needed, something to happen. It's a shame it went down like that.
Right.
To this, I don't think I'll ever not be bitter about the way it did go down. And, I had no control of the situation. I wasn't there. And, but, hey, you know what? It's done and over with. They rebounded at Timber. I was allowed to go back to practice, and we rebounded at Timber Creek. And went down to Holy Spirit, had a big win down there, and two great playoff wins, and ended with this one. So, we uprighted the ship, went in the right direction, and hats off to, Tucker Monaco, 2-year starter, Brad Lomax, 3-year starter, Bobby Hyman, 3-year starter, Wisdom Corshi, 3-year starter, Sean Morris, 2-year starter, the biggest offensive line we had. Holy Spirit did a good job, on defense, kind of, versus these guys. They really did, and we did some things that we practice all the time. We knew we were going to have to throw the ball, and the Chertel kid's just a sophomore, and we threw 5 or 6 times. That seems like a lot for us, but, 4 of them were great passes, 2 were for touchdowns, and really helped us out a lot. So our skilled kids are all young, sir.
Yeah.
We had at one point last night 6 or 7 sophomores on defense, and I think if we can get the line together with the skilled guys, next year, hopefully, we can make a run at it again.
Coach, I'm looking at this kid, Keyshawn Griffin, 6'4", 220, and I'm like, that kid's only a sophomore? Jeez. I mean, he's got some room to grow, too.
He just got offered by Baylor.
He's a man-child, that kid. Holy cow.
Yep, and you know what? You talk to him, he shows no emotion. He doesn't say a whole lot.
He's all business.
He smiles, but you know what? Sometimes we really got to light a fire. And at halftime, I said, Keyshawn, I said, are you going to make any plays tonight? And then all of a sudden he comes up with 2 big sacks second half. And Ethan Hunt, also sophomore, got offered by Baylor already. So Ethan, is going to be one of our outstanding defensive linemen. Tyler Page, Angelo Vokalas got to play last night. Ahmad Ross, Jaden Chertel, a freshman, Cole Mercado, did a fabulous job last night on offense and defense. So, here it is. You have a bunch of young kids playing on that stage, and they did a great job.
Talk with Coach Paul Sacco from St. Joe football. And, Coach, take me through that one throw a little bit where Chertel hit Byers the second time they hooked up for a touchdown, that right over the middle. Byers beats 2 defenders in stride. I mean, what a great throw. I was looking at that on the Jumbotron, and I was like, man, that is an incredible throw for a sophomore in that kind of situation.
Well, you know what? We felt he was a little nervous going into the game, and he got thrown to the wolves last year early in the game. Nate Johnson he had a pulled hamstring during the week, but we were positive he'd be able to play, and he got out there 2 plays into the game against Mater Dei. He can't play. He just can't go, so we put him out there, and he did a good job, and here it is again this year. Now he's starting at corner, and he's the quarterback, and we were worried about it, and a couple times he came off, and he asked us questions, and I'm like, does he even know he's the quarterback today or what? I think that he kind of just got caught up in everything. But I give him credit. A couple times we hollered at him because, he can't hold the ball that long with this pass rush. But you know what? That first touchdown pass was amazing. The second one was even better. He bailed us out on, man, he could run. And picked up 2 big first downs in the second half where he got away from defenders, tucked it down, didn't throw the ball away, and got down the sideline and picked us up 2 big first downs. So he's going to be a good one. So, Keyshawn Griffin and the kids, Chase Lomax, they're all 15 years old. So, they're going to grow into it, and like I said, if find some linemen, we should be okay.
Coach, real quick before we let you go, not many guys can run for 150-plus yards against you. Talk a little bit about Elijah Gray, and he's the same grade as Jada Byers. These are 2 of the best backs in South Jersey, and what a tough kid, man. He gave it everything he had last night for Holy Spirit, and I was impressed with the way he played.
You know what? I've watched him since he was a freshman, and I kind of you knew he was going to be good, and he's another one of them little guys that wears his heart on his sleeve and just a great runner. He's either hopping over you, jumping over you, running over you. He's all over the place and very hard to tackle. And you got to give him credit. He took a lot of hits last night, but he just kept going. So my hat's off to him and their players. And just glad that we could bring home the title. It's exciting, for the kids. It's a night they'll never forget.
Coach, what does this championship mean to you? It's your 20th in the last 25 years and really tells a lot about this program. And obviously it's for the kids, everything you guys do as coaches, but it's got to be special to you to just keep having this type of success.
Well, I'll tell you what, this year is really special. I mean, they're all special, and people say, doesn't it get old? It never gets old when you get there. I said it the past week. I said, doing this 37 years, I said, you would think that by now I would not be stressed and nervous and stuff like that, and I was. It was the longest day of my life from the time I got to school, and by the time we got out and went to Mass and we had dinner at school and all that and got on the bus. But this is special because I think it just shows people, it's a great school, it's a great program. I think the kids get a lot out of our program, and I think So it's a program, there's good football teams, there's great football teams, and then there's programs. And, I believe we have a program. It's a great program. And I think that it's teaching the kids a lot, that they carry on the rest of their life. I look at how many alumni in the one group of seniors that graduated 2 years ago last night, the Horns, Gordon Hill,
right.
The Hargraves kid was on the sideline, J.D. Dorenza. These kids are on the sideline last night and in the locker room, C.J. Parrish from last year talking to the kids. So that's the kind of stuff, I look at, they'll come home for their break. The first place they come is to school, or to the weight room after school and ask if they can lift. So, that's what means the most to me, that they'll come back or they'll call no matter where they're at and say best of luck, or they'll send a letter, a text, whatever. But it means a lot, and it's a great program, and we're hoping that we do attract some more kids from the Atlantic County area here.
Great stuff as always, Coach. We appreciate it. Congratulations on another championship, and go enjoy it this weekend. Take the weekend off.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
All right, thanks, Coach.